Okay, so for starters, I want to make sure that you can see your book, and I need to make a statement about the book. The book that you have for this class is actually the same exact text
Mm-hmm.
for another class that you've already taken.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this conversation all the time with the students about the. I always have this conversation with the students about the book, the textbook. So um, some of the notes may be somewhat the same, or shall I say similar. So I still encourage students to go out there and doc sharing and make sure they pull up the notes and everything, because there is some variation. It may not be an extensive amount, but there is a little bit of variation. So I just want to make sure that you have the correct notes. A lot of the notes that I may give to you are things that are not necessarily in the book. They come from other resources. So that's why I say, just make sure you go out there and just pull those notes and rely on them, the ones that's actually for the actual class. So that way, you
Mm-hmm.
always have the correct set of notes. So while I'm talking about notes, let me make an observation on this. So when it comes to audios and videos and things like that, they may not always be me necessarily talking about the notes in the class. They could very well just be YouTube videos that I have uploaded that's in relations to the material that is for the different chapters. The reason I do that is because it puts a little bit of a twist in the class, and it's not so monotone where you're hearing just my voice, my voice, my voice. Plus, you're able to see videos that may have a little bit more interaction in it, or animation, or something like that, or something that's a lot, more upbeat, great sound, music, pictures. It just, to me, it just seems that it makes for a more greater experience for the students. So I just don't want you to feel that. I don't want you to get caught up in looking for, oh, well, I want to hear da 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 da, because pretty much with my notes, they always serve as a roadmap. So when I give students notes, my intentions is never to go out there and just give them every single thing in the book. No. Then, two, you've had this book before, so I don't want it to sound like repetitious coming from me. So I may, change it up a little bit and just give you videos that just ties into that particular chapter, and you'll watch that video. You'll still keep those notes from Doc Sharon, and that's where you are being tested from. You're being tested from that, and terms and definitions and any other thing that I give you in the class. Yeah, you're being tested from there, but the videos just kind of help give a little bit more enlightenment of the actual subject matter in the chapter that we're going over for that particular week. So I just kind of want to make that observation when you're going out there looking for your audios and stuff, so you can see that. Um, there is some changes being made to the syllabus, and I always like to tell the students that so that they can be made aware. So I wouldn't actually print the one that's in there currently, because I am making some changes to that, and those changes should be completed by the end of week one. But I do have a few changes that I need to make on the actual syllabus, because I want to make sure that you have the right information. So with that being said, I usually try to make sure I give due dates and everything in the portal so that it'll help you with keeping up with your assignments. And of course, I'm always going to use the course scheduler, because that's a way for you to, when you log in, look to the right, you can basically actually see what's upcoming, what's due, when it's due, and you can still keep up in the class like that. As far as everything else on the course home expectations, you've been through the class before, so you're the only student in the class. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's just going to be you and I. And what I do when I have classes like that, um, your main responsibility is just to make sure that for your threaded discussions, you just answer the question for what it is. I'll chime in and ask you some follow up questions and then you just go back out there and respond to me. And when you've done that, you've met the requirement that I need you to meet for the threaded discussion. Because, like I said, it's only two of us in the class. So by it being two of us in the class or whatever, we just kind of have to do it like that. Um, you already know that it's 100% online, so you're going to kind of basically be out there logging in and getting assignments done as they should be done. So, I have your day two assignment out there open and all that kind of good stuff. So, um, journals. So now your journal's going to be a little different as far as due date based on how we're having our go-to meeting. Because I have a scheduling conflict with another class and their go-to meeting is on Monday morning, that's why I push yours back to Tuesday morning. And if you want to, we can keep it at the 8:30 time. It's totally up to you. But if you say no, 8:30 is just too early. I just rather do 9 o'clock. That's fine too. But if you like 8:30, then I'll just make myself available to be ready to log in at 8:30, so we can go ahead and start. The sessions will never be long and drawn out because it's just not that type of class. Basically, what I'm going to do is keep it short, keep it simple, keep it brief, respect your time, and just make sure that I cover everything that you're doing for the week. I just want to make, I'm gonna always make sure I cover everything that you're doing for the week. I'll make the midterms and finals and what to expect, and I'll always do that in addition to any other announcements I may have for the week. So with your journals, because we're doing the go-to meetings on Tuesdays, you're actually going to have until Wednesday night to get your journal in. So in previous classes, you turned your journal in on a Tuesday night. Well, whenever I have the meeting, I like to give the students a 24-hour turnaround time. So if you don't get it in tonight, that's fine. Just know that you have until tomorrow night to get your journal turned in. Same rules apply as before. Make sure your journal covers three things that I talked about during the meeting. If you're ever, if at any week, during any week, 2, 3, or 4, if you know you're not going to be able to attend the go-to meeting, let me know and I won't sign on. I'll still do a recorded video and I'll still upload it to the go-to meeting link. And that way you can go back and listen to the video. And if you go back and listen to the video and can provide me a journal that talks about, what was in the video, you can still get credit for I will still give you credit for being in the meeting and stuff like that. But if you know that a lot of students don't like to do that because they like to be able to ask questions. And the downfall to not attending the live go-to meeting is the fact that you can't ask any questions and get an immediate response. You pretty much have to try to catch me when I have my virtual hours. Which brings me to the next topic. So my virtual hours as far as when I can be available to actually like talk has changed. So basically, 8:30 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning, 8:30 at night, 9:30 at night. Those are the times that I can actually be logged into the computer. And if I need to check on something, look at something, you say something doesn't look right or something like that, I can check into those things. That'll be my time that I can respond to emails. I can receive text daily. If you don't receive an immediate response from me, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's that I can't answer it at the moment, but I'll try to respond back as soon as I can. Anytime you call and you get a missed call or you email, again, I'll try to respond to your emails and things. I won't do anything after 9:30. So at 9:30 at night, I won't respond to an email or anything like that. It'll be the following day. I do know that, and it'll definitely be within 24 hours. So I wanted to make that observation about the schedule. Homework is a little bit different in this class versus your other classes. So it's a little bit more time consuming. And the reason I say that is because in this class, um, your homework is pretty much in a format of like short answer questions. So short answer questions usually take a minute to answer. But the way that you know that you can get full credit for a question, you have to answer the question in full. So, like, say for instance, if one of your questions says list, like if it says list the three types of organizations or list the three types, then you will list them. But if it was one of those questions that says list and define the three types of something or the two types of something or the four types, then you can't just list them. You have to define each one. So when you're reading your questions, make sure you read them carefully. Anytime you come across a question that says explain the difference between X, Y, and Z, then you basically have to tell me about X, Y, and Z. And you have to have, if you've read, then you should be able to provide that answer to me. So just make sure that you, like I said, that you read over your questions really, really carefully. Answer everything in full so that you can get full credit. Okay, so if you don't already know this, anytime I set up homework, I set it up like an exam. Well, the system is set up where if it's multiple choice, true, false, or fill in the blank, it will go ahead and grade the assignment for you. But if it's a short answer or essay question, the system is not set up to grade those particular items. Therefore, pretty much all of your homework assignments are probably going to say zero or it may not show you anything. That's nothing that you did wrong if you know you answered the question. Now, of course, if you ain't accessed the homework assignment, well, of course you're going to get a zero. But I'm just saying, if you
Mhm.
know that you've opened up the homework, you submitted all the questions, you still didn't get a grade, just know that because they're a short answer or essay question, I have to grade those manually. And I set those
Mhm.
questions up like that for, especially like for a class like this, because in here, you're really going to take when you took the class healthcare delivery systems, that was just like a general overview. Well, when you get over in this class, I just take it up a notch higher. Basically, what I do up in here, I basically get into how we can take the delivery of how we can take the way we deliver systems and improve them and make them better. How important it is for your organization to be organized. You know, how important it is your role as a clinic manager in health services because you're going to be delivering and providing services to patients and their families and to other individuals. So you've got to make sure as a healthcare manager you have yourself in place to be able to do this. And that comes with having great leadership skills. It comes with having a great staff. It comes with having great customer service. And when you cannot provide those components to your customers who are your patients, then you lose within your business. You're not gaining, you're losing. So what I do in here is just kind of help step it up a notch. Like you'll actually do a training module for me, provided I can get it to do right. And it's through an organization that's set aside for healthcare executives. And you just kind of go through some training of some different things because you get to that point where you're almost finishing your degree and everything, and it's time for you to start displaying those leadership skills because the jobs and the roles that you take on are going to be very important. They're very significant to your job. You can't be in healthcare and be that manager that's not in tune to the community. You're not in tune to your patients. You're not in tune to your staff. You can't be that kind of manager. You have to know how to organize your facility so that you can deliver quality patient care. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So, yes, we're going to revisit the same chapters from the previous book that you had in healthcare delivery systems. However, we're going to go into it a little further. So, when we talk about um, insurance or how something is set up or organized. We just kind of go a little bit deeper more into it. So like, I want to say tomorrow you're going to actually do like an activity that's on organization. So you're going to do like this org chart where I'm going to give you, I want to say this is the assignment where I give you some departments and you basically tell me, where would they go based on what their title is and how it's organized and set up. So you kind of go through those things. I can tell you at the end of the class for your final project, you're going to actually have what we call, you're going to have like a project management day. It's basically what it is. And basically what I'm going to do is give you a series of issues you currently have going on in your facility. And it's going to be up to you as the manager to get those issues fixed. It may be that you need to do a write-up for somebody. It may be that you need to change some scheduling. So it's just a variety of things. And we'll talk about more with that later on down the line. One other thing I want to make mention of is you're going to have an essay paper that's due on Sunday. Now, when I say essay paper, I'm not talking about an APA paper. So I'm not talking about a title page and an abstract. I do want a separate reference page, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I don't want this is going to be a very informal paper. I've already uploaded it in DocSharing this morning, so you can go ahead and print it, take a look at it, get started. And it's going to be, it's for day 4. It's not your daily assignment. Because your daily assignment for day 4 will be a quiz. That'll open on day 4. This is an additional activity for day 4, and you will have until Sunday to submit it. That's why I put it in there today. I wanted to talk about it today so that you can go ahead and print it, go ahead and get started. It only has to be 2 pages. It'll be very interesting. You won't have an issue getting to 2 pages. You may actually go over. But basically, just to kind of give you in a nutshell what the paper is about, it's a health services essay paper. I gave you a list of different types of health services in the medical field. That's not everything. I just gave you a few because the medical field has a lot. And from the list of facilities that I gave you, your job is to pick 2 of your choice and discuss them. I gave you some questions that go along with the paper. Those questions are things like give brief details of what the facility does. So like say for instance, if the emergency room was one of your items that you choose, then one of the questions says, oh, okay, so tell me what the duties are of a emergency room. And you would do just that. You'll tell me what's the purpose of the emergency room. I mean, like why we got it. That's basically what that means. So when you're telling me that, you're giving me details of services that they offer. When I go to the emergency room, and this is things that a manager needs to know. When people find out, oh, Kiana, she works in the medical field and stuff, she'll probably know, oh, okay, well, Kiana, so if I go to the emergency room, what can they do for me? Well, that's when you answer that first question that says, brief details of services offered. You should be able to tell them, oh, well, the emergency room offer this, fast, quick, easy service. They deal with trauma, all kinds of stuff. The next question is summarize the types of medical professionals working in both of the facilities chosen. So that means for each facility you choose, you tell me the different type of medical professionals working there. So if it's ER, you got RNs in there, you got ER tech, you got physicians. You just kind of think about the last time you went to the emergency room, what type of personnel did you see up in there? So just kind of think about it like that. What is the role of the healthcare manager in the medical field? That is just a general question. And that is something, because you're getting so close to finishing, you really need to start thinking about, seriously, what is going to be my role as a healthcare manager while I'm out there in that field? See, you're not going to, this ain't no McDonald's job. This ain't no Walgreens. This ain't no department store. We talking about lives now. We talking about real people's lives. And what you do as a manager affects everything and everyone around you. Everybody gonna be watching you. When you have an irate patient, an irate family member, you can't act out. You can't be going to the medicine cabinet and pulling out needles talking about you're gonna stab a patient and this. You can't do that. You're being watched. You're the trainer so that you can train your staff as the trainees. You're the precept and example for them. So if you don't know what your role is, you can't tell your staff what their role is. You just can't do it. That's why what I do at the end in this class, that's why for that project, that's how come I give you a series of basically facility issues. That's really what it is. That's why I give you that, because I know that I give you that because I know that if you don't understand what your role is and if you don't take that role serious, you're going to have issues in your facility. You are. You're really going to have issues. And there's so much competition out here now until managers have to be the face of the facility. And I'm going to tell you, I've been in some places where I really felt like administration was horrible. I felt like the clinic manager was just horrible. They really weren't cut out to be a leader. So when I'm asking you that question, what is the role of a healthcare manager in the field? When you're giving your answer to that question, think about what you're writing, because it applies to you. Oh, I got to be doing this, and yeah, you have to be doing those kind of things. And then the last question of that essay would be discuss funding for the facility. So whatever facility you choose, let's say for instance ER is one, you may choose long-term care for the other one. But I have a list up there for you to choose from. So when I want you to discuss funding, I want to know things, and I have it in parentheses. I want to know things like the type of insurance companies that's accepted. What's their methods of payments? Research, go out there. So when you say, well, how am I supposed to know that? What you do, if you say ER and long-term care in your facility, then what you need to do is go out there, find you an ER department. Better yet, find a hospital that has an ER department and just kind of go in there searching and stuff until you come across some financial stuff. Long-term care, go out there and do some research on long-term care and find out, how they're funded. Some long-term care facilities may be funded by the government. It just totally depends on that particular company. So that's pretty much what you're going to be doing for the paper. Very informal. I don't need a title page, an abstract. I don't need any of that. Only thing I need is for you to pick your two facilities, talk about each one of them, and you can, so if it's ER, go ahead and start talking about ER, cover all your questions for ER, such as the detailed services offered, types of medical professions, and the funding. Do that for your, I'm just using ER. Do that for your ER. Then go and repeat that same thing for long-term care if that's your other facility. Talk about those components first. Let the question about the role of the healthcare manager in the medical field, let that be the last thing you talk about. Because I don't want you to talk about the role of the healthcare manager in each facility. No, I want to know what is the role of the healthcare manager in the medical field, period. And when it comes to that, it really doesn't matter what the department is. There's just certain characteristics and leadership skills you have to have as a manager. Whether you're in long-term care, assisted living, in the lab, in a mental facility, in a behavioral health, it doesn't matter. You still have a role to display. The only thing that would change after that would be the type of facility that you're in, because your duties would change. But your attributes, your skill sets, your leadership skills, those follow you everywhere you go, as long as you're trailing in the medical field. There's just a certain level of, certain level that you got to reach, and that's just kind of where we at with that. So that's pretty much what your paper is about. It's worth 50 points. I want a reference page because you're going to be out there researching some stuff. And so just keep up with your websites. Now, the reference page, those references have to be formatted according to APA. So, I always give an APA link out there in Webliography. I put a document out there in DocSharing that has some APA citations, reference citations, just some examples. So you're more than welcome to look at that. But again, that paper is not due until Sunday, but I want to go ahead and put it out there and make you aware of it. And that's pretty much all I have. I'm looking. I don't have anything else. I don't know if you have any questions for me. Just make sure, one of the ways to make sure that you're not missing an assignment is when you log in, look to the right for all your upcoming. But then if I were you, I will actually click on the tab that says day one, day two. And the reason I say this is because when you click on them, that whole page pretty much lists everything that needs to be done so that you won't miss anything. Because I don't want you to be missing no quiz and all that because you just kind of overlooked it. I want you to be real careful and make sure that not missing anything and losing any points. But you have any other questions for me or anything that you don't understand?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, other than that, you know how to reach me if you have an issue. And so you can just kind of reach out to me if you have a question about anything, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for attending. And unless anything changed, I guess we'll just plan for next Tuesday. We'll plan for 8:30 again, unless we need to change the time or something.
8:30 is fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
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 All
Thank
right.
you again.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye bye.